Hi and welcome to Fun Swedish. Today we're going to talk about 10 Swedish words and phrases that you need to know to sound polite in Swedish. The first one, the easiest one, and also the most important one is tack. Tack means thank you. For example, tack för hjälpen, thanks for the help. But tack is extra common because it can also be used in this situation. Notan tack. The bill, thank you. Yes, we actually say the bill, thank you, when we're asking for the bill, instead of saying please. It's like we already expect you to give us the bill. So to save time, we say thank you in advance. But of course, once you get the bill in your hand, you're gonna say tack again. Swedes love to say tack. And sometimes we even say it twice. Tack, tack. The situation can look like this. Notan tack. Tack, tack. Out of 4 words you said, 3 of them were tack. So yeah, you're gonna hear a lot of tack from Swedes. And that's why this word is so important to learn.
Tack, tack.
Tack för tacket.
And if you want to add an extra level to this tack, then you can say tack så mycket, which means thank you so much. Or an extra one, a very popular one, is tusen tack. 1000 thanks. I would use this one if I lose my phone and someone hands it back to me. Tusen tack. Number 2. Snälla. Snälla technically means please. If you Google the word please in Swedish, then the word you're gonna get is snälla. But if you translate things word for word, you might get this snälla the wrong way. And it can sound a bit rude. So be careful with how you use snälla. Like we said before, if you ask for the bill in Swedish, then you would say notan tack and not notan snälla. Because notan snälla kind of sounds like you're saying the bill please. This would sound very passive aggressive for a Swede, like you're saying please give me the bill, as if you had been waiting an hour for it. But snälla can sometimes be polite, but you need to use it in the right situation. For example, after a tack. Tack snälla. When someone hands you back the wallet you just dropped. Tack snälla. So, together with tack, snälla is really polite. Tack snälla. It's like you're saying thank you, so kind of you. In fact, snälla comes from the word snäll, which means kind. But let's leave that aside. The important thing is that snälla goes really well together with tack. And it can also be used with the word skulle. Skulle du snälla kunna stänga fönstret? Would you be so kind and close the window? That's a nice one. So here, snälla together with skulle, then it's used in a polite way. And in this way it works. Number 3 and 4. Varsågod. This word has 2 meanings and both sounds polite. The first use of varsågod is you're welcome. The thing you say after a tack. For example, you hold the door for someone. Tack, varsågod. The second meaning of varsågod is more like here you go or here you have it, please go ahead. For example, at a dinner party, after the dinner is served, your Swedish host might make a gesture and say varsågod. That means that you can start eating. So again, it's a polite gesture of saying, go ahead. If we break down varsågod, it looks like 3 words put together in one. Varsågod. Be so good. So it's kind of like we're saying, be so good or be so kind to start eating or doing something. You could get the same varsågod at the supermarket when they ask you, vill du ha kvittot? Which means, do you want a receipt? And maybe for some reason you say, ja tack, yes please. And then while they hand you over the receipt, they might say varsågod. And in this situation, it doesn't mean that you should eat the receipt, it just means here you have it. Number 5. Jag beklagar. If someone tells you really bad news, like their cat passed away, then you can respond by saying jag beklagar, which kind of means I'm so sorry. And if you want to say it more formal, then you can also say jag beklagar sorgen, which is kind of how we say my condolence. Even though the real translation to jag beklagar sorgen is more I'm sorry for your sorrow. Sometimes you can also hear jag beklagar at a restaurant. Jag beklagar, men vi har ingen chokladglass kvar. I'm sorry, but we're out of chocolate ice cream. Again, causing emotional damage. Here, jag beklagar, works a little bit like the Swedish word tyvärr, which is how we say unfortunately, but maybe a bit more formal, but still showing empathy. Moving on. Number 6. Usheikta. Usheikta works a little bit like excuse me or pardon me. But what is important to know is that the actual meaning depends a lot on the intonation and situation. For example, it can be used as excuse me if you want to ask for someone's attention. Maybe so you can ask them a question, like some kind of directions. Ursäkta, var ligger Vasamuseet? Excuse me, where's the Vasa Museum? A very famous museum here in Sweden. Or maybe we ask you, ursäkta, har du kommit ihåg att gilla den här videon? Excuse me, have you remembered to like this video? We're using ursäkta to call your attention in a polite way. But with ursäkta, it's very important to use the right intonation. A soft ursäkta is polite. Ursäkta, a strong ursäkta can be more assertive. Ursäkta, and a harder, sassy ursäkta is more passive-aggressive. Ursäkta, especially if you add mig after. Ursäkta mig. If someone is blocking your way, not on purpose, but they're still blocking your way while you're getting off the bus, then you might use the strong ursäkta. Ursäkta. And when you say this, the person would normally apologize and say oj förlåt. And then the more passive-aggressive ursäkta, this one I would use if you're, for example, entering a store and you're waiting and waiting to get service, but the staff there are just chit-chatting with each other. Then I would be more passive-aggressive and perhaps say ursäkta. But again, ursäkta is used a lot like excuse me or pardon me. And this is also why you sometimes can hear this sentence, jag ber om ursäkt, which is how we say I apologize, even though it really means I beg for forgiveness. Number 7, förlåt. This is the most common word we use when we screw up. It could be translated to sorry or pardon, but in general, förlåt has kind of a regret feeling. Like, I did something bad and now I regret it, so I would say förlåt in this situation. Let's say that you have a fight with your partner over cleaning the toilets. And in the moment of anger, you throw the toilet brush at them. And once you calm down, then it's a great moment to say förlåt to your partner. Number 8. Skulle. There are many ways of asking for favors in a polite way in Swedish. But one that is really good to learn is the word skulle. You could say, skulle kunna få lite vatten? Which could be translated to, could I have some water? So skulle works a little bit like could here. You could use this with strangers, maybe with the waiter at the restaurant, and with friends at their house. That is why skulle is so useful. You could also use it to a partner or someone that you really know, but you still want to sound polite when you talk to them. Skulle du kunna ge mig en servett? Could you give me a napkin? Number 9. Trevligt att träffas. Trevligt att träffas is how we say it in a very polite way, nice to meet you. So something you would say after meeting a Swede for the first time. Trevligt means nice in this context, and here we don't pronounce the G so much. It's like we're saying trevligt, not trevligt. So remember that, skip the G. And then att träffas is how we say to meet. Trevligt att träffas. And to this you can respond tack detsamma, which is how we say I feel the same. Number 10. Here I'm going to talk more about philosophy than a word. So in some countries, when you write a letter or an email, in a more formal way, you might address it something like to whom it may concern. In Swedish, we have something similar to this, and that would be till vederbörande. However, it's so formal and so old-fashioned that it kind of is a bit weird to write it this way. And we actually prefer to just write hey. I know that some people might find it very weird to start a formal letter with hey, but it's actually the most common way of doing it. In Sweden, compared to other cultures, we like more to be efficient than perhaps polite. And being efficient is kind of a way to be polite for us. So that's why we sometimes prefer to write just hej than till vederbörande. So, that was it for today. Don't forget to put a like and subscribe if you haven't done it yet. Kom ihåg att likea. Hej då!